Hello, good day everyone. In this video, we will look back at human biocultural and social evolution. This chapter aims to provide a context for analyzing the biological, cultural, and socio-political development of society. Our focus for this lesson are the growth and development of societies and the evolution of social and political institutions. Social scientists, particularly political scientists and sociologists, inquire about society and its various institutions and how these affect human relationships and interaction. Societies are said to have evolved as human beings learn to adapt to their environment. Social evolution went hand in hand with the processes of socialization and enculturation. Anthropologists cite three types of societal evolution. These are biological evolution, technological, cultural or bicultural evolution. And these types of evolution are seen to be interrelated. Biological evolution. This refers to the process whereby organisms undergo various genetic and physical changes that pave the way for biological diversity. Diversity arises because the lineages that descend from common ancestors diverge through time. In simple terms, biological evolution continues to influence how people live and interact with other members of society. We have here example. The physical appearance of people will vary depending on the area they lived in. We have here the populations adapted to colder sub-zero temperature. Inuit Eskimos, these are name of tribe or group. They tend to have broader hips and short, thick extremities, as well as more fat deposits. And for those populations lived in the warmer temperature, tend to have increased skin pigmentations or freckles to better cope with the damaging effects of solar radiation. These freckles or skin pigmentation prone siya sa white people. Next is technological evolution. This refers to the changes over time in technology that gives humans increased control over their environment. Example, the change from stone tools to metal tools, the development of industrial technologies, steam and electric power, agricultural and medical procedure or medicinal procedures, and communication resources, the internet. The anthropologists introduced the concept of biocultural evolution. This refers to as the mutual interactive evolution of human biology and culture. Physical anthropologists have discovered that the genetic constitution can be changed through the interaction of man and his environment. This connection occurs when our neurons transmit the stimuli we receive from the environment and transmit it to our bodies, and which affects our genetic expressions in order to respond to the stimuli. With time, this process leads to the conditioning of our bodies to react in a certain way to the stimuli, which alters our behavior and genetic makeup. Specific example is being lactose intolerant. This means inability to digest milk, sugar, lactose because of the absence of lactase. It is an enzyme that breaks down lactose, a sugar in milk. Biologically, a newly born baby produces lactase since their means of food is through their parents' milk. But as we grow older, the production of lactase in our body stops, causing us to be lactose intolerant. But there are society where milk is readily available. They are being exposed to that stimuli, which is the milk. Sige silang inom, though they experience the diarrhea, gas, and bloating. These are the effect of having no lactase in our body. In time, their body adapted to that stimuli, making them lactose tolerant. This happened due to mutation or changes of their genetic makeup, and this is being inherited to their offspring. Now, let's proceed to the evolution of social and political institutions. There are different views on how early social and political institutions have developed over the course of history. First, we have anthropologist Louis Henry Morgan. He came up with an evolutionary scheme that divided history into three stages of development. We have savagery, barbarism, and civilization. According to Morgan, the savage stage is the lowest stage of development, which is exemplified by the nomadic and hunter-gatherer lifestyle. The barbaric stage is the middle stage of development where people began learning agricultural techniques and the domestication of animals. Finally, the civilized stage is the highest stage of development where people learned writing. Morgan's studies were read and used by Frederick Engels in developing a theory on the origin of private property and the state. Later on, he collaborated with Karl Marx, and they came up with the perspective that social institutions evolved primarily due to the struggle between social classes over the means of production such as wealth and private property. In the early 20th century, Herbert Spencer applied Charles Darwin's principles of biological evolution to social evolution. For Spencer, individual members within societies engage in a competition for survival whereby the superior ones dominate those who are the inferior type. Under this perspective, it is believed that societies cannot be classified according to the definite stages of development, and that one society cannot claim to be more advanced than other societies. Additionally, each society and culture must be analyzed and evaluated according to its own specific context and the influence of outside factors. Such perspective came to be known as cultural relativism. The main proponent of this perspective is Franz Boas. Cultural relativism is defined as an individual's attitudes, beliefs, and ideas are based on the cultural context of his or her society. He argued that human behavior is not rooted in biology but is socially constructed. The evolution of human beings has given rise to the development of social organization. This progressed over several thousand years and were influenced by innovation and changes in the human condition. The earliest societies were comprised of the hunters, gatherers, and were referred to as band-level societies. These groups had a simple social structure, and social rules were largely defined by sex, age, and the division of labor. Most hunting and gathering societies assigned the task of hunting for men, while women were focused on gathering. The leaders or leadership was based on qualities such as strength, intelligence, and trustworthiness. The emergence of more complex social organization, the invention of tools, the introduction of new and varied tasks, the increasingly complex social interaction and communication, these changes brought about the establishment of the tribe. This was a more formal social organization made up of several bands and groups that were connected through a clan structure or kinship. The leader of the tribe or headman was a more formal and established leader. He had significant influence among the other members of the tribe and was recognized as a person of great influence. The growth of tribes allowed them to increasingly interact with one another, leading to the establishment of a new political organization called the chiefdom, which consisted of tribes united under one leader or chief. Over time, as societies evolved, social and political institutions developed along with the ideas of law, political leadership, governance, and citizenship. Beginning in the mid-70s until the 80s, many societies in the world, particularly in Western Europe, were transformed by the Industrial Revolution. This event introduced significant social, cultural, and political changes in the lives of the people of Europe, and the effects of Industrial Revolution are increased migration, growth of urban population, changes in lifestyle, increased production, technological advancement, and the rise of middle class. And that ends our lesson.